Chapter 3590, Wang. In the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian and all the Dragon Palace disciples had returned. This time, they had returned with great rewards. Bring all the resources over and use all the corpses to enhance the strength of the Dragon Palace disciples. Prime Minister Turtle immediately rushed over and instructed Wang Xian upon his return. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Wang. At this time, Enlai also rushed over with Ling Honggu. Thank you, Princess Honggu. I won't trouble you for the rest. Wang Xian thanked Ling Honggu. Compared to the inheritance you helped me obtain, this is nothing. We have annihilated so many experts from the 3 major races. I don't think they will let us off so easily. Ling Honggu smiled and continued. Especially since they have the backing of the angel race. They should have other tricks up their sleeves. Half of the 6 major races have been crippled. Our Dragon Palace can handle the upcoming situation. Wang Xian smiled and said confidently. The improvement this time was great. Even if they gathered another 6 races, the Dragon Palace alone could handle them. I'll stay in the Dragon Palace for the time being. I need at most 1,000 years to reach the Universe Lord Realm. After I advance, I'm afraid I won't be able to interfere. I'll leave after 1,000 years. Ling Honggu said to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian pondered for a moment and nodded. With Ling Honggu, the Dragon Palace would have an additional layer of protection. 1,000 years was nothing to experts like them. Enlai, bring Princess Ling Honggu to a place to stay in the Dragon Peak. If she needs anything, she can direct the disciples of the Dragon Palace. In addition, you can see if there are any dark attribute treasures that you need. Wang Xian said to her. All right. Ling Honggu nodded with a smile. Beside her, Enlai brought her back to where they were staying. Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne, turned on the Universe AI, and browsed through it. Currently, the Universe AI was bustling with activity. The news of the Dragon Palace attacking the Divine Dragon Bloodline, Giant of Light, and Luminescent Insect Race, and killing a large number of their experts had spread like wildfire. Everyone was guessing how strong the Dragon Palace was. Some experts and disciples from other forces said that the Dragon Palace might be the hope of the Divine Dragon race. There were all kinds of flattery. In short, this battle had shocked all the experts of the various races. With such strength, which of the high-level clans could compete with the Dragon Palace? The world of science and technology, recognized as the strongest race, might be able to suppress the Dragon Palace. But is there anyone else besides them? Almost none. However, among all the news, Wang Xian discovered a force. Well, it couldn't be called a force but a region. Some disciples of the experts were discussing that the only experts that were stronger than the Dragon Palace were the technology world and the Invincible domain. Later on, a powerful disciple broke this rule. The Invincible region could not be called a force, it was just a region. Naturally, Wang Xian understood what the technological world was like. They were the strongest race in the universe that focused on science and technology. They were also the only race with science and technology in the primordial continent. The strength of this race was extremely terrifying. They had all kinds of technological weapons and technological items. There were even experts from peak races who purchased technological items from them. In the technological world, they were known as the strongest advanced race. No one knew exactly how strong they were, but no one dared to provoke them. This was the first time he heard of the Invincible domain. Using the Universe AI to check, he understood a little. The Invincible domain was the name of a region, because it was the place where the pinnacle supremacies of the universe trained and wanted to break through. There were many pinnacle supremacies of the universe. Hence, it was called the Invincible domain. Invincible below the pinnacle races. Not to mention, there were pinnacle supremacies of the universe training there. The Invincible domain, it lived up to its name. Dragon King, all the treasures have been gathered here. Just as Wang Xian was looking through all the information, Prime Minister Turtle brought all the resources for this battle and reported to him. Wang Xian switched off the Universe AI. He was just a little curious about the Invincible domain, but he didn't pay too much attention to it. If he wanted to break through, what he needed were resources, not battles and killings. Looking ahead, within the Dragon King Hall, There were many treasures. Wang Xian swept his gaze across, his eyes shining. There was only one primordial cardinal treasure, the pair of horns on the head of the light-chirping insect race. Other than this primordial cardinal treasure, there was nothing else. However, there were many primordial spiritual treasures, more than 2,000. After all, it was normal for the experts of the light-chirping insect race, the sacred dragon bloodline, and the giants of light to have one or two or more primordial spiritual treasures. In terms of resources, it was much less than Wang Xian had imagined. Wang Xian flew over, counted the resources, and frowned slightly. The resources obtained were much less than those obtained from the Heaven Plant's demon beast race. The main reason was that these resources were mainly obtained from the holy kingdom of the experts of the giants of light. Most of the treasures and resources of an advanced race were concentrated in the hands of the patriarch. The resources of the experts of the giants of light, as well as those obtained from the shepherd clan, might not be enough for Wang Xian to break through. However, even if it wasn't enough, he might be able to reach about 90%. Although it can't make my strength break through, there are too many primordial spiritual treasures. Could it make the Tai Chi dragon plate break through? Wang Xian murmured. When he annihilated the Heaven Plant's demon beast race, Wang Xian had obtained a large number of wood and 5 elements primordial spiritual treasures. There were more than 800 of them. This had improved the 5 elements grind significantly. However, this time he had obtained more than 2,000. More than 1,000 experts of the Universe Lord realm and above from the 3 major races, and all of them were of the light element. If the Tai Chi dragon plate devoured these primordial spiritual treasures, it should be able to evolve. If the Tai Chi dragon plate could evolve, Wang Xian's strength would reach a terrifying level. The Tai Chi dragon plate had the characteristics of a curse, and it could reflect attacks. Once the Tai Chi dragon plate was upgraded, Wang Xian could almost ignore the attacks of ordinary universe lords. In the realm of third-order universe lords, he would be invincible. No one could break through his defense. Attacking him would result in a huge backlash. Even experts at the Universe Dominator realm couldn't do much to Wang Xian. After all, Wang Xian's strength was already comparable to a Universe Lord realm expert. If the Tai Chi dragon plate absorbs it, the possibility of a breakthrough is very high. Wang Xian murmured, his eyes shining. Chapter 3591. Dragon King, we've obtained a lot of resources this time. It's enough for Bei Shuang, Fan Longho, and Princess Xiaoyu to break through to the 4th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Should we let them break through? In the Dragon King Hall of the Dragon Palace, Prime Minister Turtle asked Wang Xian, who was checking the resources. Let Bei Shuang make another breakthrough. Wang Xian pondered for a moment before replying. The harvest this time was sufficient to allow the Dragon Palace's current mutated divine dragons to reach the peak of the Universe Supremacy Realm. Once they reached the pinnacle Universe Ruler Realm, they would be comparable to Universe Ruler Realm experts. That strength was even stronger than the current Wang Xian and Ling Honggu. After all, this was a mutated divine dragon. It's Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Raising Bei Shuang's cultivation to the peak of the venerable realm required the corpses of 10 third-order sovereigns. But it was all worth it. Bei Shuang's improvement did not mean that the Dragon Palace had given birth to a Universe Lord. The Dragon Palace still couldn't become a peak race. The symbol of a peak race was a Universe Ruler. However, Wang Xian still remembered one thing. Even if the Dragon Palace had a few Universe Lord experts, it was best not to expose them. This was the advice of the elves. Although Wang Xian did not know the reason, the elf race would not lie to him. This time, after Bei Shuang's advancement, the strength of the Dragon Palace would be greatly enhanced. After all, after Bei Shuang's advancement, she wouldn't be at a disadvantage when facing a Universe Ruler. If I can break through the Tai Chi Dragon Board, I should have no problem fighting Archangel Gabriel. Wang Xian looked at the spot in front of him. The Tai Chi Dragon Coil was rapidly absorbing the innate spiritual treasures. Yin and Yang reversed, and the primordial spirit treasures turned into energy and gathered within. Every time it absorbed a primordial spirit treasure, the luster of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate would grow deeper. Wang Xian was looking forward to the breakthrough of the Tai Chi Dragon Board. In the following period of time, the universe AI was still very busy. In the Dragon Palace, all the experts and disciples of the Dragon Palace were improving their strength. Along the way, the experts from the ancestral dragon lineage arrived, but Wang Xian did not see them. The most important thing right now was to improve the Tai Chi Dragon board. Once he achieved a breakthrough in the Tai Chi Dragon plate, Wang Xian would have the confidence to deal with all the conspiracies of the sacred dragon lineage. It didn't matter if the angel tribe gave the Holy Dragon King and the others powerful primordial Khanate treasures, or found them more helpers. He had the confidence to deal with them. Time passed day by day. The absorption rate of the Xiantian spiritual treasures was extremely fast. Basically, he could absorb 10 Xiantian spiritual treasures a day. However, it would still take more than half a year to completely absorb it. As for Wang Xian, he made use of the time when the Tai Chi Dragon plate absorbed the innate spiritual treasures to devour some of the resources. Therefore, in the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian transformed into a huge divine dragon and absorbed a huge amount of resources. Up above, the Tai Chi Dragon plate absorbed the Khanate numinous treasures one after another. Time passed quickly. After a month, Wang Xian had completed his absorption. Just as he expected, he still needed some resources to advance. If there were too many attributes, the resources required would increase exponentially. Time passed very quickly. 9 months was just a short period of time for him to comprehend and cultivate. Buzz. On this day, when the Tai Chi Dragon plate absorbed 2,000 primordial supreme treasures, the transformation came. A series of roars came from the Tai Chi Dragon board. The yin-yang eyes of the Dark Dragon and Light Divine Dragon emitted an incomparably dazzling radiance. The surrounding energy surged towards them in a frenzy. The two divine dragons seemed to be absorbing all the light and darkness into their bodies. Following which, the light and darkness were completely absorbed into the yin-yang eyes, into the bodies of the light and darkness divine dragons. Waves of horrifying energy were transmitted from their bodies. The two divine dragons gradually intertwined and fused together. The strange thing was that the two divine dragons began to fuse and gradually merged into a single divine dragon. However, the surface of their bodies looked a little strange. Darkness and light were on this divine dragon irregularly. The two eyes and the two dragon horns were respectively light and darkness. However, the strange thing was that the dragon horns on the Eye of Light were indeed the horns of the dark dragon. The Eye of Darkness was indeed the horns of the light dragon. It was very strange, but the energy it contained was extremely horrifying. Gradually, the body of this divine dragon began to coil and form the Tai Chi Dragon board again. The Tai Chi Dragon board rotated slowly and looked a little illusory. In the next moment, it flew towards Wang Xian's body. Under Wang Xian's gaze, the Tai Chi Dragon board landed on his clothes and covered them. A yin-yang divine dragon coiled around his body, making him look like a divine dragon. I've broken through. Wang Xian looked at his own body with excitement in his eyes. The transformation this time was definitely a qualitative transformation for the Tai Chi Dragon board. He could sense the expert in the Tai Chi Dragon board. The strength was almost indestructible and unbreakable. Besides, there was also a hint of strangeness. Great. Among those of the same level, I can be considered invincible and undefeatable. Wang Xian could sense the expert in the Tai Chi Dragon board with excitement in his eyes. The current him could easily kill Ling Honggu. He had the advantage of speed and an undefeatable defense. Unless Ling Honggu was constantly defending, he would be easily killed by Wang Xian. In addition, Wang Xian realized that the breakthrough of the Tai Chi Dragon board this time had a few more powerful abilities as compared to the past. Offensive. The current Tai Chi Dragon board possessed a strong offensive ability. The Light Divine Dragon and the Dark Divine Dragon were not defensive divine dragons to begin with. It was just the combination of yin and yang that formed a terrifying defense. In fact, the attacks of the Light Divine Dragon and the Dark Divine Dragon were extremely powerful. If Wang Xian were to control the Tai Chi Dragon board in battle, just the Tai Chi Dragon board alone could easily suppress an expert in the Universe Lord realm. Other than that, there was another powerful ability. It was called the yin-yang space. The Tai Chi Dragon board enveloped him, making him feel as though he was in another space. This had a huge effect. That was to be untainted by dust and karma. In other words, he could disregard any curses and attacks. Of course, the premise was that he could only withstand the attack of a First-Order Universe Lord Realm ancestor which too powerful. The breakthrough of the Tai Chi Dragon Board is like the difference between an innate spiritual treasure and an innate cardinal treasure. Powerful and invincible. Wang Xian murmured with excitement in his eyes. Currently, he was confident that he was invincible and undefeatable among those below the Universe Lord Realm. Who would dare to claim invincibility? Who would dare to claim invincibility? Who would dare to claim invincibility? Chapter 3592. Who dared to say they were undefeatable? Who dared to say they were undefeatable? In this universe, no one dared to say they were undefeatable. No one dared to say they were undefeatable. Especially to those below the Universe Lord Realm. The Invincible Domain was a name given to a domain. To be able to name a place like the Invincible Domain, one could imagine how strong this place was. Some said, there were no invincible enemies in this world. But those below the Universe Lord Realm should be in the Invincible Domain. Those who came here were those who had been at the pinnacle of the Universe Lord Realm for a long, long time. To break through, they entered the Invincible Domain, seeking to break through. Here, second-order sovereigns were like children. They had no right to speak. Here, there were at least 1,000 venerables from the pinnacle races. They were all here to seek a chance to break through. There were more than 10 pinnacle races. Their bloodlines, inheritances and physiques could allow them to smoothly reach the Universe Lord Realm, which meant the core disciples of the pinnacle races. Even if they did not have many resources, even if they did not have many opportunities, after cultivating for about 10 billion years, they could reach the pinnacle of the Universe Lord Realm. With the accumulation of time, it was enough for them to overcome their lack of resources. This was the huge advantage of being a core disciple of a pinnacle race. But an advantage was an advantage. To break through to the Universe Lord Realm, the advantage of a pinnacle race was not much higher than those mutated high-level race experts. However, every pinnacle race had some treasures that could increase their chances of breaking through. But this increase was limited. This caused many pinnacle race experts to bitterly seek the path to the Universe Lord Realm. Some came to the Invincible Domain, to fight and spar with experts of the same level, to improve themselves. Because the pinnacle of the Universe Venerables had very long lifespans, this also resulted in the Invincible Domain having many pinnacle Universe Venerables. It formed a special region, the Invincible Domain. Other than that, within the Invincible Domain, there were some powerful opportunities. These opportunities were enough to move the hearts of pinnacle venerables of the universe. The Invincible Domain was huge, very vast. Within the crack in the void, there were many terrifyingly dilapidated divine kingdoms supporting it. Some of the divine kingdoms even shone with light, as if they were suns that illuminated this space. Somewhere in the Invincible Domain, a 12-winged archangel was flying swiftly. Within the Invincible region, there were more than 20 places where experts gathered. These places were divided into more than 20 broken divine nations. And flying in the Invincible Domain was Archangel Gabriel. He looked at the place in front of him. It was a dark and strange area, shrouded in green and blood-red light. That place was filled with darkness and strangeness. Archangel Gabriel flew forward, the dark energy on his body shining like a bright lamp. However, he did not conceal his aura at all. His arrival immediately attracted the attention of many experts in front of him. In the center of the darkness and strangeness was an incomparably dilapidated area. It was filled with dilapidated buildings and some strangely dilapidated statues. At the very center, there was a towering tower. This was a very, very tall tower. On the top of the tower, there was a statue of an eye. The entire eye statue emitted a green glow, and from afar, it looked somewhat terrifying. And on this tower, there lived a powerhouse, a very famous expert in the Invincible Domain. They were called Black Tower Magi. The Magi were one of the top clans. However, the Magi were very special. Many of them were solitary explorers, pursuers of the truth of the universe. They were researchers of laws. Magi liked to research and explore alone. The Magi passed down their knowledge through the method of apprenticeship. The ancestral Magi were the core of the Magi. The Magi were very general. Although they were one of the top clans, only those who reached the level of Ancestral Magi could enter the core of the Magi, the Ancestral Magi Tower. The Magi were not like other clans. They were completely different from the Divine Dragon Clan and the Angel Clan. In the universe, there were only a dozen known Ancestral Magi. It was very difficult to become an Ancestral Magi. Among all the cultivation systems in the universe, the Magi were the most difficult. Cultivation was difficult, and breakthroughs were difficult. But at the same time, the strength of the Magi was very terrifying. When a Magus set up a spell formation and attacked, they could defend against 4 or 5 of you, or even more. Of course, there were Magi who specialized in the physical aspect. But when a Magus reached the level of Ancestral Magi, he would be involved in spell formations, curses, and the physical body. The longer a Magus lived, the more terrifying they were, because their accumulations were very deep. Among those of the same level, Magi usually occupied the majority of the Magi. Even Archangel Gabriel had to admit it. As one of the top clans, the Angel Clan, he had no confidence in dealing with an Ancestral Magus of the same level. Even in a life and death battle, the possibility of being killed was very high. This time, he was ordered by the third prince to come to the Invincible region to invite experts to deal with the Dragon Palace. The first person he thought of was this Black Tower Magus. The Black Tower Magus was very strong. He had a battle record. 1 person against 3 Fire Phoenixes, 3 Pinnacle Black Tortoise Universe Venerables, and defeated them. There was even a Black Tortoise with powerful defense that was killed by him. This was under the situation where the Black Tower Magus did not set up a spell formation beforehand. Among all the clans, the Black Tortoise race was known as the clan with the strongest defense. He was able to kill a Black Tortoise in a 1 versus 6 situation. One could imagine his strength. In the Invincible region, there was a tacit unspoken rule. Life and death were determined by fate. Wealth and honor were determined by the heavens. Once one stepped in, regardless of the top clans, regardless of background, if one was killed, one would be killed. The reason why there was such a rule was because those who stepped in were experts who had been unable to break through outside, and wanted to enter here to break through. If an expert had a strong background, others would not dare to engage in a life and death battle with you, and would avoid you the moment they met you. Then how would you break through? Coming here was to fight and break through. If one of your clan's experts died, your clan would come to take revenge? Then who would play with your clan's disciples in the future? Not to mention, the disciples of the top clans here would also fight and kill. The battles here had nothing to do with race, it only concerned the individual. If you were strong, then you were strong. If you were weak, then so be it if you died. Survival of the fittest. Experts above the universe Lord Realm could not interfere. Archangel Gabriel's arrival was like a bright light in the night, but after sensing his might, the surrounding experts did not pay too much attention to him. The surrounding experts were all existences that could step into the universe sovereign realm at any time. They would not be afraid of a first-order universe sovereign realm expert. Because of this, they could not have fear, because they wanted to break through. Chapter 3593. Whoosh! Archangel Gabriel flapped his wings and quickly flew towards the towering Magus Tower. He was very fast, ignoring the gazes around him as he stared at the residence of the Black Tower Magus. Whoosh! Very soon, he arrived in front of the Magus Tower and stopped about 100 million kilometers away. Above the Magus Tower, there was a circular fortress. Above the fortress, there was a huge eye that emitted green and blood-red light. Pausing in the void, he looked at the Magus Tower in front of him and frowned slightly. There was no movement at all. Buzz! His 12 wings trembled slightly, and a wave of energy rushed towards the surroundings. The power of light spread towards the Magus Tower. Buzz, buzz, buzz. However, at this moment, a green light swept across the surroundings from the top of the Magus Tower. The incomparably huge eye slowly stared at Archangel Gabriel. At this moment, Archangel Gabriel's heart suddenly tightened, and a sense of danger shrouded his heart. He seemed to hear the sounds of chanting around him entering his ears. He felt countless eyes staring at him from all directions. At this moment he actually felt the threat of death shrouding him. as expected of the Black Tower Magus, to be able to give me such a strong threat of death. Archangel Gabriel stared at the circular fortress of the Magus Tower, and said with a serious expression, "The powerhouses of the Invincible domain were indeed not to be underestimated. Some of the old monsters had lived for much longer than Archangel Gabriel. There were even quite a few old monsters who had lived for about 20 billion years. These old monsters had not broken through for a long time, but they were always thinking of ways to increase their strength. They had all sorts of strange methods. Even Archangel Gabriel, who was a ruler of the universe, would have to be careful. Take the Black Tower Magus in front of him for example. Archangel Gabriel was sure that if he dared to attack him here, it was hard to say who would live and who would die. After all, this was the lair of the Black Tower Magus, and there were all sorts of strange spell formations around. A dignified archangel. Why would a little Magus like me come? What's the matter? A door opened in the center of the Magus Tower's fortress, and an old man slowly walked out. The old man had green pupils and a pair of blood-red wings on his back. Other than that, he looked very ordinary. He was the famous Magus of the Black Tower. A Magus of the Black Tower, who was only at the peak of the universe Paragon realm, had to show some respect for the arrival of an archangel. Regardless of his background, the other party's strength was enough for him to meet him. Under the orders of our third prince, we are here to invite Magi from the Black Tower to assist a few high-ranking clans in destroying an organization. Archangel Gabriel didn't hide anything and spoke directly. The third prince of the angels? Angel of Light? The Black Tower sorcerer was surprised to hear Archangel Gabriel's words. He did not expect a powerhouse from a peak race to come looking for him. That's right. We, the Apex clans, cannot interfere in the affairs of the advanced clans. Tell me what you want. Our third prince can give it to you. Archangel Gabriel looked at the Black Tower Magus and continued. The Black Tower Magus stared at Archangel Gabriel, his green eyes flashing. Make a request to the angel race's third prince. The third prince of the angel race had an incomparably noble status. He wasn't an ordinary existence. This was the top second generation in the universe. I can make a move. Universe Ruler Realm Black Angel 12 Wings. The Black Tower Magus muttered to himself for a moment, his eyes flickering. Archangel Gabriel frowned slightly when he heard the request. He knew that the Black Tower Magus would definitely make a request. No one would be able to resist the temptation of a powerhouse of this level. However, the Black Tower Magus's request was not small either. The 12 pairs of wings of a darkness angel at the Universe Ruler Realm were treasures. It was not inferior to a Khanate cardinal treasure. I will tell our third prince your request. Archangel Gabriel immediately took out the AI and sent the Black Tower Magus's request over. Buzz buzz. At the same time, in the center of Dragon Island, the third prince stood quietly in front of a pillar with many divine dragons entrenched in it. Beside him, the Aqua Phoenix was also standing there. The third prince received Archangel Gabriel's message and frowned slightly. The 12 wings of a dark angel from a universe ruler realm expert were extremely precious. However, he immediately replied. A universe ruler realm dark angel 12 wings in exchange for the help of a powerhouse. It's really hard to invite a powerhouse from the Invincible domain. He spoke calmly and looked at the Aqua Phoenix beside him. Your people are too useless. The Aqua Phoenix swept a glance at him and said plainly. It's not that my people are useless, it's that the Dragon Palace's strength has exceeded our expectations. If nothing goes wrong, it won't be long before the Dragon Palace will have a universe ruler realm powerhouse. The third prince spoke and stared at her. I've already put in a lot of effort. I'm not sure if the heart of light and darkness is inside. Aqua Phoenix, you have to put in some effort. The Aqua Phoenix stared at him and her eyes flickered. I'll find you a powerhouse from the Invincible domain. Who? The third prince stared at her and asked. Taishui Demon King. The Aqua Phoenix replied. I've heard of him. Alright, is there anyone else? The third prince nodded and continued asking. Those that he had heard of were all top-notch existences in the Invincible domain. No, my people only know this one. The Aqua Phoenix shook her head. Alright. The third prince did not make any further requests and nodded. He immediately sent this news to Archangel Gabriel. If the Dragon Palace has a universe ruler realm divine dragon, it'll be good news for us. The atmosphere was silent for a few minutes before the Aqua Phoenix spoke. The fairy race has some connections with the Dragon Palace. The third prince added plainly. The Aqua Phoenix furrowed her brows slightly and did not say anything. Alright, our third prince agrees. At the same time, Archangel Gabriel, who was in the Invincible domain, received the third prince's message and replied to the Black Tower Magus. Alright. The Black Tower Magus smiled. Which force to destroy? It'll be boring if they're too weak. The Dragon Palace has two powerhouses that can instantly kill a third-order universe ruler. I'll continue to invite powerhouses. You're the first, and the Tai Shui Demon King has already agreed. Find another one. Do you have any recommendations? Archangel Gabriel asked him. Oh, they can instantly kill someone of the same level? Interesting. I'll take one of them. The Black Tower Magus' eyes lit up as he spoke. Chapter 3594. Don't be careless. He does have some ability. He's a very powerful existence in the Invincible domain. I'll at least find another expert of your level. Archangel Gabriel saw the Black Tower Magi's battle intent and reminded them. Finding two is enough. I won't join forces with others to attack an existence of the same level. The Black Tower Magus said indifferently. His words made Archangel Gabriel frown slightly. I'm not afraid of anyone in the same realm. Join forces? Then I, the Black Tower, might as well commit suicide. The Black Tower Magus looked at Archangel Gabriel. If you want to find someone strong, then don't even think about joining forces. Of course, we can still kill a universe dominator. As he spoke, he couldn't help but laugh. His mouth was like a black hole. No teeth or tongue could be seen. It was really strange. Archangel Gabriel's eyes twinkled as he looked at him. He was speechless. Over time, these old fellows who had not broken through all these years had become somewhat perverted. All right. Other than the High-Water Demon King, I'm looking for a third-order Sovereign Realm expert who can deal with ordinary Sovereign Realm experts. Do you have any recommendations? Archangel Gabriel looked at the Black Tower Magus and asked. There's an old scholar. He's very strong. He's an expert from the Sage's bloodline. The Black Tower Magus spoke. Then let's go now. Archangel Gabriel looked at him and said. All right. The Black Tower Magus nodded. With a wave of his arm, the fortress behind him closed. His figure flashed, and he flew off with Archangel Gabriel. Why are the Black Tower Magi following this Archangel? I don't know. He must have something important to discuss with the Black Tower. Otherwise he wouldn't have come. Could it be to deal with those giant star beasts? I don't think so. In the surrounding area, some experts watched as they left and murmured to themselves. The prestige of the Black Tower Magi in this area was very high, and their strength was also unfathomable. This was evident from the fact that it occupied a towering Magus tower. The accomplishments of the Black Tower's Magi were terrifying. Black Tower Magus, tell us about the old scholar's strength. Archangel Gabriel flew beside the Black Tower Magus. Even he had to use all his strength to keep up with the speed of the Black Tower Magus. One could only imagine how deep this old monster's foundation was. Two experts from your angel clan died in his hands. One of them seems to be called. Forget it, the name is too long. There's no need to leave his name after his death. The Black Tower Magus said indifferently. Archangel Gabriel raised an eyebrow when he heard that. But at this moment he suddenly thought of something, and his eyes sparkled. The two of them flew quickly in the Invincible domain. After flying for more than a month, they arrived at a relatively brighter area. In front of them, there were many mountain peaks. The trees and grass on the mountain peaks were lush. This was a cosmos god nation left behind by an expert after he died. And now it was completely destroyed. Those mountain peaks were left in a slightly disorderly manner in the void. Faintly, the sound of someone reading came from the surroundings. Among the mountain peaks, there was one that radiated light energy. The mountain looked very ordinary, and one could vaguely see two old men sitting there, holding a fan in their hands, sitting in front of a chessboard. They just sat there quietly. If one were to get closer, they would see that the two old men looked exactly the same. But one of them had a kind face, and the other had a fierce look on his face. This area was called Book Mountain, and this old man was called the Old Scholar, a famous expert in the invincible domain. His battle accomplishment was because he killed two powerhouses of the Angel clan. Old Scholar, the Archangel of the Angel clan has come to find you for some matters. You can name the reward. The Black Tower Magus flew over and shouted, Black Tower Magus, you've messed up my chess game. When the Old Scholar heard the Black Tower Magus voice, the fierce-looking old man stared at him, his eyes filled with violence and killing intent. Hee, what's the matter? Opposite the fierce-looking old man, the kind-looking old man stood up. The fierce-looking old man strangely fused into his body, and the two became one. The kind-looking old man looked at Archangel Gabriel, smiled and waved the fan in his hand. However, when Archangel Gabriel saw the fan in his hand, he frowned slightly. The feathers on the fan were the feathers of a pinnacle venerable of the Angel clan. If this was not the invincible domain, the Angel clan would have sent people to kill him. However, he had killed an expert of the Angel clan in the invincible domain, so the Angel clan would not bicker with him. This was the rule, and the pinnacle races would not be so petty. Help some high-level races and destroy a faction. You can name the reward. Our third prince will do his best to satisfy you. Archangel Gabriel said directly. I want books, books that I've never seen before, useful books left behind by a universe ruler. The Old Scholar heard it. He asked for the reward without any hesitation. Wait a moment. Archangel Gabriel immediately sent this condition to the third prince, and he quickly received a reply. I can satisfy you. Very soon Archangel Gabriel replied. Good. I believe that the third prince of the Angel clan will definitely have the books I need. The Old Scholar laughed. His request was not simple at all. A book left behind by a universe ruler realm powerhouse wasn't that simple. All right, after we meet up with the High Water Demon King, we will leave immediately. Archangel Gabriel said directly. The High Water Demon King? That warlike fellow. In the outside world, which high-level race needs the three of us to take action? Is it a powerful faction under that pinnacle race? The Old Scholar raised his eyebrows and asked. No, it's the Dragon Palace, currently the last powerful faction of the Divine Dragon lineage. They have two very powerful experts in the Dragon Palace. Archangel Gabriel replied. Divine Dragon lineage? The spoils of war will belong to us. If we can use the body of a divine dragon to create a dragon throne, TSK, that's not bad. The Old Scholar waved the fan made of angel feathers in his hand, and his eyes lit up. If you have the ability to kill that Dragon King alone, the corpse is yours. Archangel Gabriel said directly. The experts of the invincible domain were very powerful, but he also knew that the Dragon King was not simple. However, inviting the Black Tower Magi, the Old Scholar, and the High Water Demon King should be enough. All three of them were famous experts in the invincible domain. There were not many in the invincible domain who could compare to them. The price of inviting them was too high. Even the third prince had to save as much as he could. Chapter 3595. Go and report to Taishui Demon King, then we'll leave. Archangel Bai looked at the arrogant Old Scholar and said, Taishui Demon King is in Taishui Hall. There's a transfer array here in Book Mountain. Let's go there. The Old Scholar said faintly as he flew towards the transfer array. Archangel Bai and the rest immediately followed behind. Arriving at the transfer array, after they teleported, they arrived at a rather noisy place. Taishui Hall. It was different from the Black Tower and Book Mountain. This place was much more lively. There were many dilapidated palaces floating in the air, and there were many palaces. Around these dilapidated palaces, there were many new palaces, and many beasts were flying around. These beasts were all the descendants of Taishui Demon King. In the invincible domain, Taishui Demon King was an oddity. He loved to fight, and when he fought he would go crazy. He had once fought with the Old Scholar. No one knew the outcome, but the experts of the invincible domain only knew that both sides had been dormant for hundreds of millions of years. After coming out, Taishui Demon King became even more reckless, bringing many female beasts into the Invincible domain. These female beasts gave birth to many descendants for him. In the Invincible domain, he was the only one who occupied a domain, and called himself Distant Gaze. At the same time, after not breaking through for a very long time, he started to nurture his descendants with potential. Among his descendants, there were 10 third-order universe sovereigns, and each of them had terrifying strength. In fact, Tai Shui Demon King had a famous son with terrifying strength. He had the battle record of killing 5 third-order universe sovereigns. This caused Tai Shui Demon King's reputation to soar. At the same time, they were shocked at how Tai Shui Demon King had nurtured so many powerful descendants. Archangel Bai, right? Our Tai Shui Demon King invites you over. The moment Archangel Bai and the rest teleported over, a beast flew over and spoke to them. Lead the way. Archangel Bai said faintly. The beast nodded and immediately led the way, flying towards a palace in the center. TSK, in the Invincible domain, only the High Water Demon King would be so high profile, occupying such a large place for himself. Sooner or later, this place of his will be slaughtered. To the side, the old scholar's face suddenly changed. His face looked a lot more ferocious. Haha, who knows, there might be a universe ruler among the children of the High Water Demon King. After all, the chances are higher if there are more of them than us. The Black Tower Magus looked around. In his green eyes, all the demon beasts in the surroundings were filled with dense blood energy. He looked like a demon from hell. As the two of them conversed, they soon arrived before a large hall. Archangel Gabriel, our Demon King Tai Shui is inside. Please come in. The demon beast that led them flew to the front of the palace and gestured to them. Archangel Gabriel's expression did not change as he flew forward. Boom. However, just as he passed through a large hall, a terrifying fist came at him. Archangel Gabriel's expression changed when he felt the power of this punch. His 12 wings immediately blocked the front, forming a powerful defense. Boom. The fist landed on the defense of his 12 wings. Archangel Gabriel's body trembled slightly as a trace of seriousness flashed in his eyes. Ha ha ha. As expected of a universe ruler expert, I'm still far from being able to kill him with this punch. At this moment, an arrogant voice came from within the palace. Anger flashed in Great Angel Baal's eyes as he stared ahead coldly. Provoking a universe ruler expert? He could do it in the Invincible domain. His gaze landed on a throne at the end of a long path. An incomparably burly demon beast was sitting there. His head looked like beef and his body was extremely burly. He had a pair of bull horns and his body was flowing with azure blue light. There seemed to be fish scales growing on his face, and he looked a little ugly. Let me test your strength and see if you have the qualifications. Archangel Gabriel's eyes flashed coldly. He waved his arm and the 12 wings in his hand formed an incomparably sharp spear of judgment. The spear of judgment attacked the High Water Demon King at a terrifying speed. Apart from not using any primordial cardinal treasure, he did not hold back at all. An all-out attack. Haha, great. The High Water Demon King's eyes were filled with a terrifying battle intent when he saw this terrifying attack. He stretched out his arm and a starry ocean gathered on his fist as he met the spear of judgment. Bang! The spear of judgment collided with his fist, and his fist gradually absorbed the spear of judgment. 100 Rivers Fist. Subsequently, the fist disappeared and so did the spear of judgment. Archangel Gabriel's pupils shrunk slightly when he saw this. You're the High Water Demon King indeed, he said in all seriousness. His full-powered attack had been blocked by Demon Monarch Tidewater. This meant that the High Water Demon King's strength was no weaker than his. Hee, you're the High Water Demon King indeed. You're a double mutated. You're powerful. The sinister half of the old scholar's face twitched, and a sound came from his mouth. It's all right. I'll definitely improve before the calamity anyway. The High Water Demon King said confidently as he stared at the old scholar. When the time comes, I'll use you as my stepping stone. Hee, before the calamity? By then we'll be on completely different levels. The old scholar calmly said. His face was filled with a strong sense of confidence. He was confident as if he was invincible. High Water Demon King, did you get the news? Archangel Gabriel took a deep breath and asked the High Water Demon King. Yes, I did. Leave the Dragon King to me. We'll fight one-on-one and be dragon slayers. The High Water Demon King licked his lips and said, He, the Divine Dragon Tribe is the overlord of the water and the king of the ocean. Can you do it, High Water Demon King? The Black Tower Wizard looked at the High Water Demon King and said with a smile, The Divine Dragon Tribe was once the overlord of the ocean. Even the various astral beasts in the ocean of the mountain sea land feared them. In the eyes of the Divine Dragon Tribe, a person like the High Water Demon King was a small fry that was not even worth mentioning. The Divine Dragon Tribe reigned supreme in the Water Tribe. Black Tower Wizard, do you want me to spar with you? The High Water Demon King stared at the Black Tower Wizard with his eyes shining with battle intent. If you're able to pay me enough, I'll spar with you. The Black Tower Wizard replied calmly. His green pupils were unusually creepy. Chapter 3596. Alright, the two of you, after destroying the Dragon Palace, you can fight as you please. Archangel Gabriel looked at the Black Tower Wizard and High Water Demon King and frowned. At the same time, he was shocked by these old freaks from the Invincible domain. High Water Demon King mutated twice. What did that mean? Mutating once was comparable to a pinnacle race. Mutating twice was equivalent to a mutated expert from the Angel Clan. The Angel Clan was also a mutated expert, known as the Fallen Angels. High Water Demon King mutated twice, which was enough to fight someone of his level. Yet the Black Tower Wizard and the Old Scholar were not afraid of him. One could imagine their strength. Old freaks were indeed old freaks. He had only been stuck at the pinnacle of the universe supremacy realm for a few 100 million years before breaking through. He had never experienced a situation like theirs. He did not expect them to be able to fight him at the pinnacle of the universe supremacy realm. Now he finally understood why this place was called the Invincible Domain. At least for those below the Universe Dominator realm, the Invincible Domain was an invincible existence. The experts here were too terrifying. This reminded him that there were many giant space beasts living in the Invincible Domain. These giant space beasts were not any weaker than them. One could imagine how terrifying these giant space beasts of the Invincible Domain were. Lead the way. I want to see what kind of experts are out there. High Water Demon King waved his hand and said. He did not take Archangel Gabriel seriously at all. It was just that they were on the same level. Archangel Gabriel also put away his arrogance, nodded and flew out. Kids, I'm going to meet some experts outside today. When I come back, I'll bring you some divine dragon meat to try. Ha ha ha. After flying out of the palace, High Water Demon King laughed maniacally. His eyes were filled with madness. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. His voice reverberated through the void. One by one, demonic beasts flew over quickly. Among them, 7 or 8 were emitting terrifying auras. Demon King will return in triumph, slay the enemies, and take their heads. Demon King will return in triumph, slay the enemies, and take their heads. One by one, the demonic beasts roared loudly. Ha ha ha. High Water Demon King laughed maniacally. He quickly disappeared beside Archangel Gabriel. Lunatics. They seem to be lunatics. They haven't broken through to the universe ruler realm for a long time, causing their minds to go crazy. Such existences will either break through or go crazy. Seeing this, Archangel Gabriel thought to himself. He suddenly remembered something about the Invincible Domain. Before he came here, his father had warned him not to invite some of the madmen in the Invincible Domain, because they were really crazy. These lunatics could be regarded as a star behemoth, because their behavior and style were completely like that of wild beasts. Now that he thought about it, it was indeed so. The Taishui Demon King wasn't far from that level. Time can wear away anyone. To be able to cultivate to the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm, even if one wasn't exceptionally talented, or didn't possess great wisdom. But after reaching this realm, if one didn't break through in 1 billion years, or even 2 billion years, the long river of time would wear away one's wisdom and mind. Either he broke through, or he went crazy. The 2 that he had invited were considered normal, but the one that the 3rd prince had asked him to contact was a little abnormal. Buzz. 4 figures flew rapidly in the Invincible Domain. 1 year later, They flew out of the Invincible domain. Next, you will assist a few experts from the high-level races to attack the Dragon Palace. 2 of them can instantly kill Third-Order Universe Sovereigns. Your role is to kill them. After flying out of the Invincible domain, Archangel Gabriel spoke to them. There's no need for assistance. The 3 of us are enough to destroy them. Taishui Demon King said directly. The other party has 2 extremely powerful experts and over 50 Third-Order Universe Sovereigns. The 3 of you won't be enough. Archangel Gabriel said directly. Ha! The Black Tower Magus raised his brows slightly when he heard this number. The other party had so many experts. They were indeed not enough. That's simple. I'll challenge the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. Give me an imprisonment ring, and I'll kill him. Taishui Demon King said directly. Let's move together. Archangel Gabriel looked at him and frowned slightly. He took out 3 feathers and said, Follow me back to our Radiance God Mountain first, then we'll move. Although Taishui Demon King and the rest were eccentric, they did not reject and directly crushed the feathers. Archangel Gabriel revealed a faint smile as he sent a message to the 3rd prince. The corners of his mouth curved upwards. In the next instant, they disappeared. Soon, their figures appeared on a mountain peak in the Radiance God Mountain. The 3 of you wait here. Archangel Gabriel said to the 3 of them as he stood there quietly. Over at the Radiance God Mountain, Taishui Demon King and the rest were very obedient. After all, this was the territory of the peak-ranked races. If they were arrogant, they wouldn't even know how they died. Lord Archangel Gabriel. Soon, the Sacred Dragon King, Shepherd Tribe Leader, Giant of Light Tribe Leader, and all their experts rushed over. This time, all the experts from the 6 major races were here. Among the 6 major races, they had over 120 Third-Order Universe Sovereigns. After losing over 50 of them, there were still 71 of them left. This time, not a single one was left. All of them were here. And in their lair there was an archangel as a guest. With such an expert guarding the place, it couldn't be any safer. Archangel Gabriel looked at them and nodded lightly. At the side, the Black Tower Sorcerer, Taishui Demon King, and the old scholar also looked at the Sacred Dragon King and the rest. Similarly, the Sacred Dragon King and the rest also looked at the Black Tower Sorcerer and the rest. Such powerful strength, such a terrifying aura. The Sacred Dragon King and the rest looked over. The Black Tower Sorcerer's eerie green eyes looked at them, causing the Sacred Dragon King to tremble slightly. He sent a voice transmission to the Shepherd Tribe Leader and the rest. The Patriarch of the Shepherd God Tribe and the others nodded in agreement. The strength of these 3 strange experts was extremely terrifying. In fact, their auras weren't any weaker than Archangel Gabriel. Too weak. Taishui Demon King looked at the Sacred Dragon King and the rest, and said with contempt, As soon as he finished speaking, a figure slowly appeared in front of them. The figure's aura was slightly revealed. Everyone present felt their breathing stagnate as a terrifying force pressed down on them. Greetings, 3rd Prince. The Sacred Dragon King, the Shepherd Tribe Leader, and the rest immediately knelt on the ground and greeted respectfully. Chapter 3597. Ka. The Sacred Dragon King and the rest bowed respectfully. Even Archangel Gabriel bowed respectfully. However, the expressions of the Black Tower Magi, High Water Demon King, and the old scholar changed drastically. A terrifying aura surrounded them and resisted the 3rd Prince's aura. However, even if they tried to block it, they had no choice but to bend down and break out in cold sweat. Greetings, 3rd Prince. They hurriedly bowed as well. The 3rd Prince's strength was not something that Archangel Gabriel could compare to. Similarly, it was not something they could compare to. Not bad, your strength is not bad. The 3rd Prince sized up the 3 of them and nodded in satisfaction. With a flick of his palm, he took out a black 12-winged angel wing and a few light books. This is your reward. I'll give it to you in advance. The 3rd Prince waved his arm, and the Dark Angel's 12-winged wings and the light books landed in front of the Black Tower Magi and the old scholar. The Black Tower Magi were delighted. The old scholar opened the book and flipped through it. His face was also filled with satisfaction. A small dragon palace can be easily destroyed by us. Don't worry, third prince. High Water Demon King swept a glance over and said respectfully to the third prince, I believe in the 3 experts from the Invincible domain. Kill the 2 top-notch experts from the Dragon Palace. Leave the purebred divine dragon behind. Don't kill them. This is the Dead Light Realm. It can seal off an area without the need for magi to control it. The third prince instructed and threw a treasure to them. Yes. The Black Tower Magi and the rest received the Dead Light Realm and nodded respectfully. Experts from the Invincible domain, the Sacred Dragon King, the Shepherd God's tribe leader, and the rest were pleasantly surprised when they heard the third prince's words. The Invincible domain was the place where old monsters at the pinnacle of the universe supremacy realm broke through. The chances of breaking through here were very high, but it was also very dangerous. Only those experts who had not broken through for a long time would step into the Invincible domain. Previously, the third prince said to call for the experts from the Invincible domain. They did not expect him to call them over so quickly. I'll leave it to you. I don't want to mess it up. The third prince warned them before disappearing once again. Holy Dragon King, tell them about the Dragon Palace. These 3 are the Black Tower Magus, the Old Scholar, and the High Water Demon King. Archangel Gabriel said to them after the third prince left. High Water Demon King. As soon as Archangel Gabriel finished speaking, the leader of the Giant of Light let out a cry of surprise, a look of shock on his face. His eyes were filled with fear and terror as he looked at Tai Shui Demon King. Haha, have you heard of my name? Demon Monarch Tai Water looked at the Giant of Light Patriarch and asked with a hearty laugh. Before I became the leader of the Giants of Light, I had already heard of the name of the High Water Goblin King. The Patriarch of the Giant of Light stared at Tai Shui Demon King and said, that was 10 billion years ago. Let's talk about the expert from Dragon Palace first. The Black Tower Magus looked at them and said indifferently, the Dragon Palace has more than 50 pinnacle experts, which is not a lot. We have 71 on our side, but they have 2 very terrifying existences. One is the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, and the other is the woman in red. They can kill our ordinary pinnacle experts in seconds. The Giant of Light said with some trepidation. Oh, are you stronger than me? Tai Shui Demon King waved his arm, and a terrifying energy shot towards the Patriarch of the Giant of Light Patriarch. The Patriarch of the Giant of Light Patriarch felt the terrifying aura, and his face changed drastically. He hurriedly raised his arm to block. Boom. But in the next moment, he didn't have the slightest ability to resist, and his body was sent flying backward. The Patriarch of the Giant of Light Patriarch widened his eyes in shock. Hiss. The eyes of the Sacred Dragon King and the others narrowed when they saw the terrifying aura, and they couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This was an expert on the same level as them? Wasn't this too terrifying? As expected of an expert from the Invincible domain. So strong, so terrifying. The Patriarch of the Shepherd God's tribe was shocked when he saw this. Such an expert was able to send the Patriarch of the Giant of Light flying with a casual wave of his hand. If he was serious, wouldn't he be able to kill him in an instant? The Patriarch of the Giant of Light Patriarch was much stronger than ordinary Third-Order Universe sovereigns. They knew that the experts from the Invincible domain were strong, but they didn't expect them to be so monstrous. Let's go. Don't waste time. I want to spar with the Dragon King. The old scholar's gaze swept across them as he spoke. Old scholar, that Dragon King is mine. I said that I'll bring some dragon meat for my little ones. The High Water Demon Monarch stared at the old scholar as he spoke. Hee, I have a fan made of angel feathers and the oracle bone inscriptions of the Black Tortoise tribe. I just happen to be lacking a divine dragon throne. The old scholar waved the fan in his hand as he looked at the High Water Demon Monarch. Ha! When the Sacred Dragon King and the others heard the old scholar's words, their eyes landed on the white fan in his hand. Their expressions changed once again. It was a fan made from the wings of an angel. Wasn't this fellow afraid that the angel tribe would destroy him? It seemed like they were also top-notch existences in the Invincible domain. They naturally understood the Invincible domain. However, news of what happened in the Invincible domain rarely spread to the outside world. That was because that was the place where a group of experts broke through. No expert would be bored enough to sit around and watch. Looking at the fan in the old scholar's hand, they knew that he was also a terrifying existence. He was a lunatic. All right, let's go immediately. As for which one of you will fight the Dragon King, that will depend on who the Dragon King will fight against. Don't mess this up, or our third prince will not let the three of you off. Beside him, Archangel Gabriel frowned as he reminded them. His words caused the old scholar and the high-water demon monarch to restrain themselves. If the angel tribe wanted to deal with them, even if they did not break the rules, they had ways to do so. In the Invincible domain, there were experts from the angel tribe, and there were quite a number of them. There were also crazy-looking existences. My lords, let's go. It will take more than a year to get there from here. The Sacred Dragon King looked at them and spoke. All right, let's go. The Black Tower Magus nodded. Let's go. The Sacred Dragon King and the others were excited. The Shepherd tribe, the Light Insect tribe, and the Giant of Light also looked ferocious and excited. Not long ago, the Dragon Palace had caused the 4 major races to suffer heavy losses. And now, the third prince had invited 3 unfathomable experts from the Invincible domain. This time, they must destroy the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace and avenge their disciples, their experts, and their tribe leader. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is mine. The group teleported away and flew above the inner region of the chaotic continent. The high-water demon monarch growled, took out the universe AI, and wrote a message on it. I heard that an expert called the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace has appeared in the inner continent. Ha ha ha, the high-water demon monarch, would like to experience it for myself. Dragon King, is it? 1 year later, I will challenge you. Die. Chapter 3598. I heard that an expert called the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace has appeared in the inner continent. Ha ha ha, I Overwater Demon King, would like to experience it for myself. Dragon King, is it? 1 year later, I will challenge you. Die. Ha ha ha. Overwater Demon King laughed maniacally after sending the message. From the side, Holy Dragon King and the others glanced at Taishui Demon King, astonished. Why was this Overwater Demon King behaving like a madman? Legend has it that the Invincible domain is a place where peak supremacies enter in search of a breakthrough. There are many old monsters there, some who have lived for more than 20 billion years. The Shepherd God's Patriarch swept a glance around and transmitted a message to the Sacred Dragon King and the Giant of Light Patriarch. Living for more than 20 billion years without a breakthrough. Time will wear down an expert's intelligence and temperament. This kind of expert is terrifying. The Giant of Light Patriarch's eyes flickered. As peak experts of an advanced race, they had some understanding of the Invincible domain. However, none of their races had ever entered the Invincible domain. Most importantly, they had heard that many of the angel race's powerhouses had fallen inside in the past. This made them wary of the Invincible domain. Even experts from the angel race had fallen inside. One could imagine how dangerous it was. I've heard of Overwater Demon King's deeds. He was a terrifying expert who became famous more than 10 billion years ago. I heard that he had exterminated his race alone. He was extremely vicious and cruel. The Giant of Light Patriarch continued. At that time, there were 3 or 4 Third Order sovereigns in the High-Water Demon King's clan. All of them were killed by him. As for why he destroyed his clan, I have no idea. This kind of existence is the real monster level. I remember when the Divine Dragon clan was still glorious, there was a demon beast that killed a Dragon King of the Dragon clan and escaped to the Invincible domain. Even the experts of the Divine Dragon clan could not find it. Indeed, there was a traitor in the Celestial Empire who escaped to the Invincible domain. However, the Celestial Empire did not search for the traitor. The patriarchs of the various races communicated through voice transmissions. Clearly, they had a trace of reverence for the Invincible domain. Perhaps billions of years later, before the cataclysm arrived, they would head to the Invincible domain to look for opportunities, to find a way to fight and kill. A group of people flew in the sky. They were not as majestic as the last time. There weren't as many disciples following him as last time. However, the power this time was even more terrifying than the last time. All the peak experts of the 6 major races had arrived, and there were also 3 top experts of the Invincible domain. Patriarch, take a look at the universe's AI. Lord Hiawatha Demon King has posted on the AI that he wants to challenge the Dragon King. It has caused a huge sensation. Time passed day by day. When they had been on the road for more than a month, an expert of the Black Fog Spirit clan suddenly exclaimed, The Patriarch of the Black Fog Spirit race, the Patriarch of the Shepherd God race, and the other experts were stunned. They immediately opened the AI to take a look. Sure enough, they saw a very hot piece of news. The news was that the Highwater Demon King had challenged the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace and wanted the Dragon King to die. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect someone to know about me. It seems like I'm quite famous. Hearing the exclamation of the Black Fog Spirit race expert, Highwater Demon King also opened the AI. When he saw that his news had caused a sensation, he couldn't help but laugh. He was very satisfied with this situation. Beside him, the old scholar frowned slightly when he heard their words. He took out the AI and looked at it. His eyes flickered. At this moment, the news about the Highwater Demon King on the AI had caused a huge sensation. It had been a long time since the Highwater Demon King had appeared in the sight of the chaotic continent. No one born in the last few billion years had heard of this existence. Those experts who had lived for billions of years had long forgotten about him. But now he had suddenly appeared. At first, when the Highwater Demon King had posted the news on the AI, it didn't attract much attention. Only a few people knew that this terrifying existence had suddenly made a statement. But as time passed, this matter was gradually spread out. And the news about the Highwater Demon King had also spread. An extremely terrifying expert who had entered the Invincible domain 10 billion years ago suddenly wanted to challenge the Dragon King, and wanted the Dragon King to die. How could they not be shocked? Especially when this matter was related to the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. Is this Highwater Demon King really an old monster from 10 billion years ago, as some information says? An existence who had entered the Invincible domain 10 billion years ago? He actually wants to challenge the Dragon King? To kill the Dragon King? This is already confirmed. There are experts from high-level races who have confirmed it. It really is an expert from 10 billion years ago. At that time, he exterminated his own race and killed 3 or 4 experts of the same level. His strength is terrifying to the extreme. Why would an expert from the Invincible domain suddenly want to challenge the Dragon King and kill him? Could it be because of the strength that the Dragon King had displayed previously and attracted the attention of the experts from the Invincible domain? Is he challenging him now? The Highwater Demon King, our race has an ancestor in the Invincible domain. The Highwater Demon King is definitely one of the most terrifying existences in the Invincible domain. He has even nurtured 10 third-order universe sovereigns. Our race's ancestor said that the Highwater Demon King can instantly kill third-order universe sovereigns. This is an existence that has lived for more than 20 billion years. Although it hasn't broken through to the universe ruler realm, it is an existence that has lived for over 20 billion years. Although he hasn't broken through to the universe sovereign realm, he was able to kill 3 or 4 experts of the same level 10 billion years ago. He must be even more terrifying now. Not long ago, Dragon Palace's Dragon King led experts to annihilate dozens of pinnacle experts from the 3 races. Dragon Palace's Dragon King also has the strength to instantly kill those of the same level. Did Highwater Demon King come out because of the Dragon King's strength and wants to spar with him? This isn't a spar, this is a life and death battle. The Invincible domain. I only heard of it after Dragon Palace annihilated the experts of the 3 races. After some investigation, that is the place where the old monster seeks to break through. It's definitely a terrifying place. On the AI, countless experts and disciples started discussing. The Invincible domain was originally not a well-known place. However, after the Dragon Palace had displayed terrifying strength, people compared the Invincible domain to the technological world. That was when many experts and disciples came to know about the Invincible domain. After all, it was the place where the old monster sought to break through. It was normal for the weak to not know about it. Not long ago, someone mentioned that an expert from the Invincible domain was going to engage in a life-and-death battle with the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. Chapter 3599. The Demon King Tai Shui of the Invincible realm was going to have a life-and-death battle with the Dragon King? When this news spread, it caused quite a commotion. This commotion started from within the Great Desolate Continent, but gradually, the experts of the Invincible realm also learned of it. In fact, the number of experts in the Invincible domain exceeded the imagination of ordinary people. The Invincible domain was originally a battlefield between a group of ruler-level experts and giant space beasts. In that battle, both sides fought to the death because of the innate divine ability of the space beast, and the space left behind by the god nation of the universe ruler realm expert. The experts who died came from the Immortal Empire, a peak race. It was said that over 200 universe ruler realm experts and above died in that battle. Many of them weren't just first-order universe sovereigns, they were extremely powerful existences. More than 100 giant star beasts had died there, a race of giant star beasts. Later, due to time, large numbers of desolate beasts were born there. These desolate beasts were attracted by the astral behemoth's flesh and blood. As time passed, the number of desolate beasts in the Invincible domain increased. Due to the giant space beasts' flesh and blood, they mutated, giving birth to many third-order sovereigns. In the 20 billion years since the Invincible domain was discovered, as more and more experts entered, the number of third-order sovereigns in the Invincible domain had reached over 5,000. Among them, 60% were pinnacle race universe venerables. There weren't many peak-level races in the universe, but they weren't few either. There were over a dozen of them. The core disciples of the peak clans only needed time to reach the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm. Some core disciples who could not break through stepped into the Invincible domain, fighting and killing. It was to the extent that the powerhouses of these peak races rarely returned to their own races. Breaking through was their greatest obsession. After more than 10 billion years of accumulation, some died in battle, some broke through and left. There were more than 5,000 experts living in seclusion within the Invincible domain. There were all kinds of races. The patriarchs of the other high-ranking races also lived in seclusion, fighting, and seeking breakthroughs. When the High-Water Demon King challenged the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, the clan leaders of these high-level clans would also report the news to their patriarchs. Demon King Tai Shui was definitely a top figure in the Invincible domain. He occupied a territory, and even nurtured 10 third-order sovereigns with combat power. His disciples also reached 1 million. He could be considered an anomaly in the Invincible domain. But there was no doubt about his strength. Many experts knew that this fellow had gone through 2 mutations. If it weren't for the fact that the other races didn't have his cultivation path and bloodline cultivation path, he would have long been recruited by the peak races. A double-mutated monster like him was comparable to a mutated purebred divine dragon. Take the Phoenix clan for example. If their clan gave birth to a mutated ice phoenix, and it was stuck at the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm for a long time, then it didn't need to fight in the Invincible domain to break through. The clan would give it enough resources to help it break through. In fact, it's even possible that an existence stronger than a ruler will personally help you break through. This was the power of mutation. A high-level race that mutated twice was comparable to a peak race's mutation. The High-Water Demon King was very strong. In the Invincible domain, only a few lunatics would dare to say that they were stronger than him. Some real lunatics. Some of the old monsters of the Invincible domain received the news from their own disciples, and their eyes lit up. They immediately did a search on the universe AI. When they saw the evaluation of Dragon Palace, and the evaluation of Dragon King of Dragon Palace, their faces revealed a look of surprise. The Dragon Palace's Dragon King had the strength to instantly kill a third-order sovereign realm expert? This shocked them greatly. Other than some old monsters who couldn't break through and thought of ways to increase their strength, under normal circumstances, they would prioritize breaking through first. Breaking through to the next realm was much better than thinking of ways to increase their strength. No matter what, this is very interesting. We can go and watch the battle between the High-Water Demon King and such a strong opponent. Let's see if we can comprehend something. An extremely old man muttered to himself as he looked at the information of his disciples. Brother Arrowmang, take a look at the news from our fairy clan. The High Water Goblin King wants to challenge the Dragon Palace's Dragon King. The High Water Goblin King's strength is very frightening. What's even more interesting is that the Dragon Palace's Dragon King has our race's companion spirit. In a void forest in the Invincible domain, all sorts of trees were rooted in the void, and it looked very chaotic. An elf spoke to an elf with a bow and arrow on his back. Ha! The High Water Demon King is challenging someone outside, and the opponent has our companion spirit? Isn't that a companion spirit? On the opposite side, the middle-aged elf named Arrowmang revealed a surprised look when he heard this. What did a companion spirit mean? To the elf race, having a companion spirit was equivalent to a mutated expert of other races. Definitely a royal elf. If he had a companion spirit, the queen of the elf race would personally help him to break through. Yes, another lucky fellow has obtained the favor of a master companion elf, and our Sidhi clan has even helped him with some matters. He is the last hope of the Divine Dragon clan. Shall we go and take a look at his strength? The elf said. Let's go. The High Water Demon King has mutated twice, and his strength is definitely terrifying. However, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace has our companion spirit, so he's definitely not weak. Let's go and watch this battle. Arrowmang did not hesitate at all, and the two disappeared immediately. They were not the only elves. Elves from other places in the Invincible domain were also rushing over with great interest. Not only them, but many experts in the Invincible domain had also heard the news, such as the experts from other pinnacle races. In the Invincible domain, the experts from the pinnacle races had a good relationship with their own kind, and they would communicate with each other. Therefore, the experts from other pinnacle races immediately rushed over. An existence like the High Water Demon King was a pinnacle expert in the Invincible domain. In a battle between experts of such a level, they might be able to comprehend something and achieve breakthroughs. To them, this was not just a show to watch. Because the High Water Demon King had challenged the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, many old monsters came out of the Invincible domain and rushed to the Dragon Palace. At the same time, in the Dragon Palace located in the water of the heavens, Wuxia was shocked when he heard the news. High Water Demon King? The pinnacle expert of the Invincible domain? An old monster from billions of years ago? What was that? Why did he challenge me? Was he here to send resources to me? Chapter 3600. As for the Invincible domain, Wuxia had only learned about it recently. That was the place where old monsters gathered. That was the place where the truly strong lived. As for the exact number of experts inside, the disciples of ordinary forces had no idea. The universe AI also didn't have a clear answer. However, that was a place where a group of old monsters wanted to break through. How could a group of old monsters be weak? Wuxia turned on the universe AI and did some research on Taishui Demon King. Information about the Taishui Demon King from over 10 billion years ago was presented before Wuxia. Buzz buzz. At this moment, Wuxia's universe AI vibrated. He opened it and saw a message from the ancestral dragon lineage's Devil Dragon King. A piece of information about the Invincible domain. The information that the Demon Dragon King gave him was that the former leader of the ancestral dragon had stepped into the Invincible domain. And in the Invincible domain, he challenged a few experts. In the end, when he challenged the fifth expert, he was defeated and left the Invincible domain. The ancestral dragon leader's evaluation of the Invincible domain was, it's not a gathering place for geniuses or evildoers, but a gathering place for a bunch of old monsters. A group of old monsters who would do anything to increase their strength. The Demon Dragon King reminded Wuxia through the AI that he had to be careful. Moreover, the Demon Dragon King said that the ancestral dragon chief once told him that there were several terrifying existences in the Invincible domain. These terrifying existences weren't ordinary powerhouses. One of them was the Taishui Demon King who mutated twice. When Wuxia saw his message, he smiled faintly. Mutated twice? He didn't take this matter seriously at all. What Taishui Demon King? What mutated twice? What invincible domain? In Wang Xian's eyes, they were all trash. That's right, they were all trash. This was his confidence. With his current strength, with the help of the unbeginning sacred wings, he could fight 1 against 3. With the 5 elements grind, he could fight 1 against 6. With the addition of the Dark Ghost avatar, he could fight 1 against 7. Together with Lingling, they could take on 8 opponents at once. Coupled with the Tai Chi Dragon Plate, sorry, I'm invincible. You can do whatever you want. Now, without more than 3 First-Order Universe Sovereigns, Wang Xian felt that he couldn't do anything to him. Speed and defense, the strongest trump card. It's just a bunch of trash who haven't broken through for a long time. Since they don't have the ability to break through, they think of ways to improve their combat strength. Hee. Wang Xian shook his head. They were all trash, and he didn't put them in his eyes at all. Dragon King, did you see what happened to the universe intelligence? Prime Minister Turtle also received the challenge from Demon King Taishui to the Dragon King. He's here to deliver resources. Don't take it to heart, said Wang Xian with a smile. In his opinion, Demon King Taishui was giving resources to the Dragon Palace. It was indeed a good demonic beast. Putting everything else aside, the Dragon Palace would gain another third-order sovereign realm expert. He hoped that there would be more of such fellows. It's Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle smiled. The current strength of Dragon Palace was already strong enough. After absorbing the resources previously, the number of third-order universe sovereigns in the Dragon Palace had broken past 100. Originally, Beishuang could have used more, but 10 of them had the strength of a third-order universe sovereign realm expert. Thus, he used them to increase Beishuang's strength. Right now, North Frost Cosmos was at the pinnacle of the supremacy realm, but he could fight against a true universe ruler realm expert. That Demon King Taiwater had accumulated a lot of experience. An expert from billions of years ago? Let's capture Beishuang first. The only Frost Divine Dragon in the Dragon Palace. The strongest mutant Divine Dragon. As time passed, Wang Xian didn't take the matter of Demon King Tai Shui's challenge to heart. The experts of the Dragon Palace did not take it to heart either. If they wanted to die, the Dragon Palace welcomed them. Time passed quickly. The breakthrough of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate showed Wang Xian how powerful it was. Now he hoped that the 5 elements grindstone could break through. The breakthrough of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate was achieved after absorbing over 2,000 innate spiritual treasures of the light and darkness attributes. As the 5 elements grindstone had absorbed more innate spiritual treasures in the past, it needed to absorb about 1,500 innate spiritual treasures of the 5 elements attributes to break through. It would be difficult to gather more than 1,500 innate spiritual treasures, unless he annihilated another 2 or 3 powerful races. Secondly, his current enemies were the Ghouls, Black Fog Spirit Race and Shepherd Tribe. Other than the Shepherd Tribe, which had a mix of attributes, the rest were all of the darkness attribute. This was not good. I have to find a chance to annihilate these 3 races, then use the resources to exchange for innate spiritual treasures of the 5 elements attributes. When the 5 elements grindstone breaks through, my strength will increase exponentially. At that time, I will be able to defeat a first-order universe sovereign expert. Wang Xian thought to himself as a smile appeared on his face. Dragon King, there are traces of some experts around our Dragon Palace. These experts are all third-order universe sovereigns. Half a year passed quickly, and Prime Minister Turtle suddenly came to report. Huh. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard the news. Everyone knew that the Eternal Heaven River was the territory of the Dragon Palace. Under normal circumstances, no experts would wander around the Eternal Heaven River. Appearing in someone else's territory was equivalent to provoking the entire race. Now that there were third-order universe sovereigns around the Dragon Palace, and they were lingering around, the Dragon Palace had no choice but to pay attention. How many experts are there? What are they doing around our territory? Wang Xian asked. I don't know for now. They didn't venture too deep into our territory, but we found experts from the fairy race, as well as other experts from the pinnacle races. Prime Minister Turtle said solemnly. This made him raise his eyebrows slightly. Experts from the pinnacle races? What were they doing around the dragon palace? And experts from the fairy race? The fairy race was considered friendly to the dragon palace. Why were they around? Reporting to the Dragon King, Prime Minister Turtle. At this moment, a halberd dragon guard flew over and reported, Dragon King, there are 5 experts flying towards us. Their auras are terrifying. Huh? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard his subordinate's report. 5. Let's go. Wang Xian gestured to Prime Minister Turtle and immediately flew out. At the same time, the leader of the halberd dragon guards, Roving Yeksha, a dozen purebred divine dragons, and Bei Shuang flew out from the dragon palace. Halt! This is the territory of the dragon palace. Just as they flew out, the voice of the halberd dragon guard could be heard. Wang Xian looked ahead and saw 3 angels, a blurry figure, and a terrifying figure with fangs flying over. When Wang Xian saw these figures, he frowned slightly. 3 angels. Dark Angel. He could recognize them at a glance. That blurry figure, if he wasn't wrong, was an expert from the Nether race. As for the human-like expert with fangs and wings, he should be a devil. Those who like the Invincible Divine Dragon Cultivation System, please collect. The Invincible Divine Dragon Cultivation System updates the fastest. Chapter 3601. Angel, Devil, Nether Clan. The experts from the 3 pinnacle races were all at the pinnacle of the universe supremacy realm. All of them exuded a terrifying aura. This aura wasn't something that the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline and the other 6 races could compare to. Dark Angel, Devil, Nether Clan. This was a strange combination. Hee, we're just here to take a look. We have no other intentions. That's right. We're here to take a look and find a good spot to watch the upcoming battle. The Dark Angel, Devil, and Nether Clan experts looked at the halberd dragon guards. When they sensed Wang Xian and his group flying out, they looked at them casually. Watch the battle. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow when he heard them. Dragon King. They might be experts from the Invincible domain. At the side, Prime Minister Turtle glanced at them with a contemplative look on his face. Under normal circumstances, angels, devils, and Nether Clan wouldn't mix together. These 3 pinnacle races weren't close. Now that the experts from these 3 races had come together, it was clearly abnormal. There was only one explanation. They were experts from the Invincible domain. The Invincible domain was special. It wasn't impossible for them to mix together. This is the territory of the Dragon Palace. It's not a place for you to watch the battle and roam around. Wang Xian stared at them, especially the 3 Dark Angels, and said emotionlessly. The Dark Angels were also from the Angel Clan. Although they had 2 kings, they were still united. After all, there was another existence above them. It was impossible for the 2 races to have any differences. Oh, how dare you reject us? A female Dark Angel in the middle stared at Wang Xian and smirked. Interesting. No wonder you're the pinnacle experts from the mainland. I wonder how many moves you can exchange with Tai Shui Demon King. Huh. Those are guys from the Angel Clan, Devil Clan, and Nether Clan. I think they're Yu Chao and the rest. It's them. They're a little arrogant. How dare they enter the territory of the Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace has over 50 Third Order Universe sovereigns after all. Maybe they think that the Dragon Palace won't dare to attack them because of their strength. Well, there's no need for the Dragon Palace to become enemies with them. Let's go. The elders in the clan have said that the Dragon Palace is the last hope of the Divine Dragon Clan. They want us to be on good terms with them. In the distance, a dozen experts of the Elf Clan were floating in the air. They were watching the situation in front of the Dragon Palace. They moved and flew toward the Dragon Palace. Leave this place. Upon hearing the words of the female Dark Angel, Wang Xian's expression did not change in the slightest. The other party was a member of the Angel Clan, and he and the Angel Clan were enemies. How could he give the other party any face? Do I have to invite him in? Just because they were the top race? No such thing exists. What if we don't leave? Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, the devil revealed a mocking expression. This is the Dragon King? Can you kill someone of the same level in an instant? TSK, he should be much stronger than me. Arcas, I'm stronger than you. Yet you still dare to be arrogant here? Aren't you afraid that the Dragon Palace will annihilate you? As soon as he finished speaking, a dozen elves flew over. Among them, some carried bows and arrows on their backs, while others held magic staffs in their hands. Seeing the dozen elves, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. They were slightly different from the elves he had seen in the elf clan. The main difference was in their temperament. These dozen elves had lost some of their elegance and calmness, and gained some menacing aura and coldness. However, the group of elves still cast friendly gazes at the Dragon Palace. Everyone from the elf clan welcome. Prime Minister Turtle looked at them, cupped his hands, and welcomed them. They could still tell who was friend and foe. Oh, elf clan, I heard that you guys are protecting this small force. Without your protection, the Dragon Palace would have ceased to exist a long time ago. An expert from the Angel clan said. Hee. Does the Dragon Palace still need our protection? It was the Angel clan that wanted to annihilate the Dragon Palace. And your lackeys have been getting beaten up by the Dragon Palace. It seems like you guys are here to find trouble with the Dragon Palace. Do you want us to spar with you and send you on your way? An elf stared at them and spoke plainly. He swept his gaze across the group of experts from the Dragon Palace and added, the Dragon Palace might be able to annihilate you guys without our help. Ha! The Dragon Palace can do it? This was the second time Wang Xian heard the experts from the elf clan saying that they wanted the Dragon Palace to annihilate the other party. He was curious and asked the experts from the elf clan. Hee, in the Invincible domain, as long as you are not an expert from the Universe Lord realm, you can kill as you please, regardless of your race. All the pinnacle races won't say anything. Not only will they not say anything, but they won't even interfere. After all, if they interfere, it will be a disgrace to the pinnacle races. In the outside world, experts from the Invincible domain don't just belong to the pinnacle races, but also the Invincible domain. In other words, if they provoke other races first, the other races can kill them, and the pinnacle races won't say anything. On the contrary, experts from pinnacle races like us from the Invincible domain can challenge those of the same level, but we can't kill indiscriminately. As for the experts from the advanced races in the Invincible domain, like Demon King Tai Shui, they don't have this restriction. An elf explained to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly when he heard that. This did not conflict with the rules of pinnacle races. To put it bluntly, experts from pinnacle races who entered the Invincible domain were trash in the eyes of pinnacle races. Wouldn't they be trash if they didn't break through after such a long time? The pinnacle races didn't take these disciples seriously. If that's the case, I'll give the 5 of you 2 seconds to get out of the Dragon Palace's territory. Wang Xian said to them directly. As soon as his voice fell, the group of elves revealed astonished expressions. The 3 dark angels, the devils, and the experts from the undead clan were also taken aback. They had not expected Wang Xian to change so drastically. After receiving this news, he didn't care about them at all. This was simply a form of contempt for them. After recovering from the shock, the elves revealed smiles on their faces. No wonder our great elf lords value the Dragon Palace so much. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is pretty good. An expert elf couldn't help but chuckle. They liked Wang Xian's style of doing things. Ha, arrogant. How arrogant. No wonder Demon King Tai Shui would challenge you. Your Dragon Palace is really arrogant. Upon hearing Wang Xian, Demon Oxu's eyes emitted a violent murderous intent. This terrifying murderous intent soared into the sky. Chapter 3602. Oxu's murderous intent erupted without any warning. The terrifying murderous intent caused the surrounding seawater to surge. Oxu, the 3 dark angels, and the expert from the undead tribe might not be as strong as Tai Shui Demon King. However, ordinary third-order universe sovereigns couldn't be compared to them. They had lived for a long time, and were confident that they could kill 2 experts of the same level. It wouldn't be a problem for one of them to deal with 3 to 4 experts of the same level. Not to mention when the 5 of them joined forces. That would be even more terrifying. Is there something wrong with these people's brains? Wang Xian couldn't help but ask when he saw Oxu the devil unleashing his aura. He was astonished and couldn't help but ask. This was the entrance of the Dragon Palace. The territory of the Dragon Palace. How could they be so arrogant? When the elves heard Wang Xian's words, they were puzzled. Were they arrogant? Wasn't it normal? The 5 of them were old monsters from the Invincible domain with the physique and bloodline of the pinnacle races. When the 5 of them joined forces, they could basically do whatever they wanted in the mainland, and not in the technological world. Kill them. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, he sensed that the 3 dark angels and the expert from the undead tribe were getting restless. As soon as he finished his sentence, the sky around the Dragon Palace changed. Suddenly, it seemed to have become a new world. Huge dragon pillars appeared in the surroundings. There were a total of 45 dragon pillars, and a divine dragon was entrenched on each dragon pillar. On the body of this divine dragon, there were also thick chains wrapped around it. When everything started to change, the 45 divine dragons moved. Without any hesitation, they attacked the 3 dark angels, the devil, and the expert from the undead tribe at a terrifying speed. This sudden and terrifying change caused Oxu, who was bursting with murderous intent, to freeze. His eyes widened as he stared at the surroundings in horror. Oh no, this is an array formation. There are a lot of array formations here. When the 3 dark angels saw this sudden change, their expressions also changed drastically, and panic appeared in their eyes. Only the people from the Dragon Palace were speechless as they looked at the 5 pinnacle race experts. They couldn't understand why these old monsters who had lived for so long would be so stupid. This shouldn't be happening. Generally speaking, which old monster who had lived for billions of years wasn't proficient in scheming and extremely cunning? These 5 people were simply idiots. Being arrogant in the Dragon Palace's territory, there was no need for the experts of the Dragon Palace to take action. Just the array formation that they had set up was enough to destroy it. Even if they were old monsters, they should never underestimate a spell wizard. Even an old monster like you is no match for an ordinary spell formation sorcerer, who has set up a spell formation. Once the heavenly array was set up, he wouldn't be afraid even if 10 third-order sovereigns fought him. This was the terror of magi. Take the lair of the Black Tower for example. If Archangel Gabriel fought him there, the result would definitely be Gabriel's death. The Dragon Palace now had 8 witch dragons that had reached the peak of the universe supremacy realm, coupled with the heavenly formation. Most importantly, this was the lair of the Dragon Palace. Naturally, the surrounding arrays were extremely terrifying. Weren't these 5 fellows courting death? They are too careless. There are many powerful wizards in the Dragon Palace. The dozen fairy powerhouses pursed their lips when they saw this scene. The array formation that appeared in an instant was too terrifying. Even they did not expect the Dragon Palace to have such a terrifying array. No wonder Arcas and the others were so arrogant. The combined strength of the 5 of them was very strong. Even though they knew that the Dragon King could instantly kill the same level as them, and that there were over 50 universe sovereign realm experts in the Dragon Palace, they could still escape if they couldn't win. They were still confident that they could escape. However, they no longer had that confidence now. The Dragon Palace's array formation was too terrifying. Shit, block and break this array formation. Why does the Dragon Palace have so many terrifying arrays? The 3 dark angels revealed looks of shock as they roared in anger. They spread their 10 pairs of wings and blocked the attacks of the 45 divine dragons. Boom boom boom. However, in the next instant, the divine dragons flew towards them. The power of each divine dragon was comparable to a full force attack from a third-order sovereign realm expert. In that instant, they were facing the attacks of 45 third-order sovereigns. Furthermore, they were unable to dodge the attacks. Not good, not good. The Dark Race powerhouse revealed a look of shock when he saw this scene. His body shuddered as 4 dark ghost doppelgangers appeared around him. Each doppelganger exuded a terrifying aura. The strength of an expert from the Dark Race was related to the strength and number of their doppelgangers. And he had 4 doppelgangers, and each of them had reached the peak of his original body. Ha! Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he saw the 4 dark ghost doppelgangers. Trap that expert from the Dark Race, he said to the heavenly formation behind him. Yes, Dragon King. Terrifying attacks. The chains on 10 of the 45 divine dragons shot towards the expert from the dark race and his doppelgangers. No. The expert from the dark race was in despair when he saw the 10 divine dragons charging towards him. 10 divine dragons. He couldn't hold them off. Boom boom boom. On the side, Shenron's attack had already landed on the 3 angels and the demon. Terrifying explosions reverberated in the space. The 9 elemental energies prevented them from seeing the situation clearly, but they could clearly sense the vitality of the 3 angels, and the devil plummeting rapidly. After a round of attacks, what surprised Wuxia was that their vitality did not completely vanish. Swish swish swish. Behind, Mao Zedong and the 4 arrow dragons took out their bows and arrows. Terrifying arrows flew towards the inside. Arg! Blood-curdling screams rang out as the 3 dark angels and the demon were killed. The expert from the Nether clan was completely trapped. Immediately, 10 experts from the Dragon Palace flew over and captured him. Arrow dragon species. The elves looked over and their eyes lit up when they saw Mao Zedong and the rest. The arrow dragon species was one of the few existences in the universe that could match the archers of the elf race. Of course, in the eyes of the elf race, their archery skills were invincible in the universe. Because the arrow dragon species was strong in long-range attacks, but not close combat. In a real fight, the arrow dragon species would not allow the elf archers to get close to them. Once they got close, the arrow dragon species would definitely die. Dead. There are sorcerers in the Dragon Palace. At least 10 powerful sorcerers. After taking a few glances at the arrow dragon species, they looked towards the center. 3 dark angels and a devil were killed just like that. And the expert from the dark race was captured alive. The entire process took no more than 3 seconds. Those who like the Invincible Divine Dragon Cultivation System, please collect. The Invincible Divine Dragon Cultivation System updates the fastest. Chapter 3603. 3 dark angels were killed, a devil was killed, and an expert from the Nether tribe was captured alive. It was a dramatic scene in such a short time. But this dramatic scene often happened. 5 experts died because of their arrogance. They had stayed in the invincible domain for a long time. In order to break through, they had honed their heart of invincibility, but they lacked awe. At the same time, they had underestimated the Dragon Palace. The array disappeared, and the expert from the Nether tribe was suppressed into the Dragon Palace by the experts of the Dragon Palace. Ha! Where are Oxu Chao and the other 4 guys? Why did they suddenly disappear? Was that an array just now? The array set up by the Dragon Palace? Where are the 3 dark angels and the devil from the Nether tribe? Were they killed by the elves? No, this is not the invincible domain. The elves can't kill them easily. Around the Dragon Palace, there were many experts of the invincible domain who had come to watch the battle between Demon King Taishui and the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. At this time, there were at least 100 of them. They naturally saw the 3 dark angels and the devil from the Nether ghosts flying toward the Dragon Palace. Especially the murderous aura that erupted from Demon Oxu. It was obvious that there was a conflict. But the Dragon Palace was enveloped by the array, and in a few seconds, Oxu and the others disappeared? The Dragon Palace doesn't care where you come from or how strong you are. You are forbidden to step within 2 billion kilometers of the Dragon Palace, or you will die together with the 3 angels, the devil, and the expert from the Nether tribe. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded around the Dragon Palace and entered everyone's ears. When the experts of the invincible domain heard this voice, their faces were filled with astonishment. What? Oxu Chao and the others were killed? They are not weak. It's an array. This Dragon Palace has powerful sorcerers. TSK. It seems that this Dragon Palace is not simple. No wonder Demon King Taishui would challenge the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Amazing. They killed Oxu and the other 4 experts in such a short time. This Dragon Palace is very strong. I wonder if the Dragon King of Dragon Palace has made a move. With the terrifying array and the strength of the Dragon King of Dragon Palace, it is normal that they killed Oxu and the others. Some old monsters of the Invincible domain who knew Aksu and the other two dark angels discussed calmly. As for their deaths, this group of old monsters did not take it to heart. Arcas and the other four were not weak in the Invincible domain, but they were definitely not strong. Compared to the top experts of the Invincible domain, like Demon King Taishui, there was a huge gap. However, they fully acknowledged the strength of the Dragon Palace. Among the old monsters of the Invincible domain who had come to watch the battle, there weren't many who were stronger than Arcas and the others. After the Dragon Palace displayed such a powerful strength, they retreated obediently. After all, this was the territory of the Dragon Palace. Their presence here was considered a provocation. Even if they were experts from the Peak clans, the Dragon Palace could still kill them. The group of experts consciously retreated to the back. Watching the battle, I can't drag myself into it. Ladies and gentlemen of the Elf clan, please come to our Dragon Palace. After dealing with the 5 reckless fellows, Wang Xian extended an invitation to the experts from the city race. Haha, alright, then we'll be bothering you. The dozen or so elves nodded. Wang Xian smiled and led them in. He got the Dragon Palace to prepare some food for them. They chatted for another half a day. Dragon King, among these dozen or so elves, some of them have strong murderous intent, and some have strong obsessions. No wonder the old monsters in the Invincible domain have gone crazy. They are terrifying and crazy. Prime Minister Turtle said to Wang Xian as the dozen or so elves were brought around by Roving Girl. Indeed, their minds have changed. Wang Xian nodded. This group of elves was different from what he had seen. If the experts of the Elf clan were like this, the experts from the dark attribute races would be even crazier. Time can wear away everything. He couldn't help but comment. Even if you were as strong as a pinnacle universe supremacy, your mind would change if you didn't break through. Even if you were as strong as a universe lord, your life would also come to an end. Even if you were as strong as a universe lord, you would still die. With so many experts from the Invincible domain gathered around, it seems like Demon King Taishui is here. Send the experts from the Dragon Palace to warn the surroundings. Wang Xian reminded Prime Minister Turtle. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Bring that expert from the Nether clan here. Wang Xian ordered one of his subordinates in the Dragon King Hall. Yes, Dragon King. Soon, 10 Third Order Universe sovereigns from the Dragon Palace came in with the expert from the Nether clan. Wang Xian waved at them and came to the front of the expert from the Nether clan. With a wave of his arm, he broke the restriction around him. Wang. However, just as he was about to resist, the Tai Chi dragon plate spun around him. Oh, what's this? What's this? The expert from the Nether clan looked at the Tai Chi dragon plate around him with fear in his eyes. From what he could sense, the Tai Chi dragon plate could easily destroy him. Wang Xian controlled the Tai Chi dragon plate, and a wave of dragon might crush towards him. This caused him to scream in agony. Soul Search. With a thought, Wang Xian used the power of Soul Search. Wang, get lost. Wang Xian frowned when the Soul Search failed. The experts from the Nether clan are spirits. It's normal for the Soul Search to fail. The fastest way for the Nether clan to evolve is through devouring. He murmured as the Nether Ghost Doppelganger appeared beside him. Nether Ghost Doppelganger? How is this possible? How can you have the Nether Ghost Doppelganger? The expert from the Nether clan exclaimed in disbelief. However, Wang Xian ignored him. Devour him. With a thought, Wang Xian directed his doppelganger to devour the expert from the Nether clan. With the suppression of the Tai Chi dragon plate, he had no way to resist. Arg! Screams rang out incessantly. Soul Search! Soul Search! Wang Xian kept trying to soul search. Finally, when the Nether Ghost doppelganger devoured half of his body, the soul search succeeded. It's a pity that I don't have the constitution of the Nether clan. The energy devoured can only be stored by the Nether Ghost doppelganger. It's not very useful. Wang Xian murmured. The Nether Ghost doppelganger of the Nether clan needed to be fed with resources. Just like this expert from the Nether clan before him, he had to consume a large amount of resources to nurture 4 Nether Ghost doppelganger. It could be said that the difficulty for others was 1, But for him, the difficulty was 4 times that of others. There were disadvantages to having good friends. Most experts from the Nether clan would nurture 2 or 3 doppelgangers. It was rare to find 4. Besides, the embryo of the Nether ghost doppelganger was not easy to obtain. It was a rare and precious treasure. You're tuning in to the Lime's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.